I don't need that. I don't need that at all. He just was a little too much of a caricature. I'm just not gonna. Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some friggin' books I don't want anymore. I don't have a shit ton, but I have a few. Wee woo. First up is book 1 and 2 of a series that I have never read from an author that I've been convinced I should just stop. I should stop trying. Angela has bullied me into unhauling these, so blame her. Just kidding. But I tried the first book of a series from this author, and then I read a duology. Well, I read the first book, and I DNF'd the second book of a duology from this author. I have had some people say that this series actually would maybe be more up my alley, but a couple other people, Angela being the loudest voice, have been like, just stop, Joshana. N.K. Jemisin, the Inheritance trilogy 1 and 2. I've had these for a minute. And I'm just not gonna accept that N.K. Jemisin, genius that she may be, just not the authorial voice for me. Not the writing style for me in the slightest. Love it for everyone who absolutely adores these books and her other books, but I shall give up. This one, Our Prison's Obsolete by Angela Y. Davis. I read it and I thought it was solid, but I'm never going to reread it, and someone else can maybe enjoy it. I have other books on this topic that I probably will keep. This one just... I found the other ones so far that I've read to, I guess, cover the topics well enough, and I just don't feel the need to keep this little guy. Someone else can enjoy it. Lions of Fifth Avenue by Fiona Davis. Just, no. I don't hate Fiona Davis's writing style or anything like that. I said it in the Like City of Girls video that I will read more Fiona Davis probably in the future. Very serviceable historical fiction, pretty quick reads, but this one I just was not vibing with. I DNF'd it technically and then heavily skimmed the last like 60% of it. Like barely read it just to kind of see what the big reveal was and like how things ended up. And yeah, didn't love how things ended up and didn't like a lot of the stuff that was happening in the book, the parts that I did read. So she can go away to someone else who will perhaps love her. Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau. This is another historical fiction that I picked up for that Finding Books Like City of Girls video, and 'twas not. Also DNF'd this one. This one, the writing style, I was enjoying more, but then there were parts that were just so repetitive. We were spending way too much time describing literally every single item that was in a refrigerator that these girls were cleaning out. I don't need that. I don't need that at all. And then they went and cleaned the dining room up and the table, and again, we were getting a very detailed account of every single item that they were clearing off of the table. Again, don't need that. And I just wasn't that gripped by it, so I DNF'd. But like I said, I liked the writing style. This one is a fantasy, adult fantasy, that I very recently DNF'd, Torn by Rowena Miller. And very promising premise. I got about 40% of the way into it, like up to 190 pages or something. Like, yeah, well into the book. And just like hardly anything had happened, very political, but like we weren't even seeing that much. It was just, again, kind of repetitive a bit with like our main character and her brother. Her brother was kind of part of the rebellion, like writing papers that he was spreading around, brochures, pamphlets, whatever, joining up for a little protests. And she was very like, no, let's not do that. It will jeopardize my shop. She's a dressmaker, charm caster, whatever. And the nobility and the peasant folk were going against each other, and rebellion was a brewing. And it just was, again, pretty repetitive with the main character and her brother arguing over and over again, the same arguments constantly, just at odds, not on the same side of things, and just hardly anything had happened. She was just puttering around, meeting with different people to make dresses for them, having a flirtation with this one guy, but like nothing really was going on there yet. And then we met the villain, the bad guy, and he just was a little too much of a caricature. He was like a little mustache twirly for me, so I DNF'd. This is one I did DNF. I might pick it up again in the future though. This happens very rarely for me where I have a book that I'm putting down that I'm like, I might try it again someday. But if I do, I'll just get it from the library. Kaikei by Vaishnavi Patel. I started it on audio. The audio narrator is Sanila Nankani. And she is booked and busy. She narrates all the things. But as soon as I started it, I was like, I recognize this voice. And I cannot remember what book this year I listened to that she also narrated. And I remember not liking it during that book, but I like kind of just was pushing through and trying to ignore it and like whatever. But then I heard it again. I'm like, dude, this tone, she does this like very melancholy, morose, reading every line like it is the most profound thing we've ever heard. And like the character is sad all the time. And I was just like,
please stop. I don't like it.
I feel bad because it's just how she talks or how she narrates. A lot of people like it, clearly. Like I said, she narrates all the things. Just not for me, though. So I don't know if that's why. I was just not getting engaged with this story at all, with these characters at all. I got about 11% of the way in and said, no, thank you. So again, I might try it again someday to see if perhaps it was just the audiobook. But if I do, I'll just get it from the library. Someone else can have this. Mostly just because I don't know if I will even pick it up. It might be a hard DNF. And I'm just very much like wary of whether or not I would like it. So there's that. That's all she wrote for now that I have. So not a bunch, but enough to do its own video, I suppose. I did, so here we are. Like, comment, and subscribe, of course, if you feel so inclined and you have not already. You can always just leave a little emoji if you want to make your presence known. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.